So here's a little exercise for people who are dealing with shame or dealing with things like regrets, just feeling angry with themselves or something like that. So you can use that on your clients if you're a coach or a change worker, or you're helping a lot of people around you, or you can even use it for yourself. So Dr. Mongrain and Dr. Shapira in 2010 created this positive intervention where people for 1 week had to write a self-compassion letter to themselves. And I'll go into, in a moment, I'll go into how you do this. But what people reported after 1 week of doing this, that up to 3 months later, their depression lowered and they actually felt happier than before the exercise. And that's only after 1 week of doing, writing themselves a letter for about 15 minutes a day. Then also 6 months later, they still felt happier than they did before doing this exercise. So for someone who's not depressed, like maybe your clients or your family members, but whoever you're working with, is that let's say you do this activity as part of as part of a task that you do once every 6 weeks or so, or once every month. And what you are to do is to kind of first briefly write down, what is it that you're angry with yourself about? Or what is it that you're ashamed about? Or something like that. It's very brief. We don't want to go on a negative train here. And then what you do is you write a letter to yourself as to maybe your childhood contributed to it. Maybe there is an environment that you were in. Maybe you didn't know when you made these decisions. You now know that maybe some things were a bad idea, but at the time, you wake up every morning, I always say, trying to do the best job that you know how. It's always hindsight that you go like, I shouldn't have done that. So you take the whole environment, someone's past, into account. And then you kind of go from you write this compassionate letter to yourself, but to also go from everyone is loved, so also you can love yourself. And so you consider that you're also only human. We all make mistakes. And so you write this letter to yourself almost as if you are your own child or a stranger, and you're super compassionate. And in this letter, that instead of giving your compassion to someone else, you end up giving this compassion to yourself. And writing a letter in this way, you dissociate, as we say in NLP, you dissociate from yourself and you look at yourself from a non-emotional point of view, but where you can give yourself empathy, where you can step into your own shoes in a more cleaner way, as almost an outsider who is allowed to be loved and allowed to be forgiven and things like that. So it's a tiny little exercise that has scientifically been proven to be super effective. If you want to learn NLP and positive psychology combined, there's plenty of mindset videos here, but I also offer up 1 day of my training online free of any charges. So check out my bio and hit me up for that.